Oh wait, I can do this. Ha. All right. Yo, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the show. If you're new here, my name is Mitchell. In today's episode, I'll be talking about why women want you at your best. So I do these YouTube lives every Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys find this video content of value, you guys can show your appreciation by sharing it to your friends, okay? Letting them know. And let me know if it helps you, because I hope it does. I really hope it does. All right. So I'm going to be talking about the recap episode of days when you feel unmotivated. So that's the recap episode, and the slide is on when days demand more than you feel like giving. And today's one of those days, at least for me. I'm not feeling the best, at least physically, so it's demanding a little bit more. All right, and we don't I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, let me get back on track. All right, so I want to start out with the quote, which is by Coach Corey Wayne. He says, "We don't always have control over the circumstances of our lives or what happens to us. We don't. But we always have control over the meaning that we give to the events of our lives." So it's the meaning that we give to it. So, days when you feel fragile at the worst times, guess what happens? Like I said, your lady, she will come in. She's gonna test you. Life will test you, right? Your coworkers. Any little thing that somebody says that doesn't, it could get under your skin a little bit quicker than normal, right? Because why? We're a little bit bothered. We're a little bit perturbed, right? And when that does happen, it's like, well, how quickly can you get back to your center, right? How quickly can you go back and remaining more cool, calm, and collected, where things don't really get under your skin as quick? How can you be emotionally regulated? Because those are very, very important things, right? Because the question that she will be asking herself is, well, can I trust them? Can she rely on you, right? What's up, Cynthia? It's like they know when life is going down, they need to remind you that you're the rock. As the guy, you're the man that leads. You're the masculine energy, right? Unless she's a masculine energy and you're the guy and you're the feminine energy, right? Energies, right? These natural essences, there's no gender to it, right? There's no gender to this. So I want you guys to understand that. But as a guy, I'm the one that has more masculine energy, and I want a feminine woman. So what does it mean? It means that I need a lead. If I don't lead properly, it means that she's not going to want to follow me. She's not going to want to follow my lead. And then when she doesn't follow my lead, she's going to be more upset. She's going to be bothered by the things that I don't do, right? Now, also what I'm looking for is, I'm looking for a woman that's easygoing, easy to get along with. Someone that's not going to make my life way more difficult than it already is, right? Someone that helps support what I do, right, moving forward, because a relationship is supposed to benefit each other. You're not going in there to look for what you're gonna get out of it. You're going in there to give, and that's why a lot of people make the mistake. So excuse me. So it's your default. By default, you want to show up, right? By showing up no matter the circumstance. What's up, Brazil? Default by showing up no matter the circumstances, right? You gotta try to give your best, give it your all every single time. And I get that that's a lot to ask for, right? But do your best and always continue to be at your best, so that you never really drop down to and lose yourself. You know what I mean? So the bullshit will never stop. And that's a fact. The BS will never stop. The more people you have in your lives, right? The more people that's dependent on you, the more responsibility you have. The less likely of you, like, you don't have that privilege of like just breaking down and just be like, like, you're gonna have a lot of societal pressure, right? If you have kids, you're gonna have more pressure. If you have a relationship, you're gonna have more pressure. If you have a job, that's gonna be more pressure. Every little thing that you add into your life is gonna be more pressure, right? And it's, well, how well can you handle this type of pressure? Because like I said, the bullshit never stops. If it's not this thing, is another one, right? So control what you can, right? And really be careful what type of meaning that you give to the things that actually bother you. Because if every little thing bothers you every single day, it's gonna be really difficult for you to wake up every morning and be like, oh my god, I can't wait to do something like this, you know? And you're hoping for a miracle. You're hoping that one day you wake up and you're like, today's gonna be a great day, instead of making it a great day for yourself. You have a drink? Yeah, I do. I have this. I took Dayquil and everything too, so excuse me. So yeah, bullshit never stops. But showing up every time with the best attitude builds consistency. Give you an example. I went to the gym yesterday. Went there, did absolutely nothing. Is it yesterday? Yeah. Did absolutely nothing. Like, at least it felt like to me I did nothing. But the meaning that I gave to it was, you know, let's just say I told somebody, like a friend of mine or maybe even a family member, that doesn't really like, damn, so you went there to waste your time? I mean, yeah, you can see it like that. Like, because I went to the gym and did nothing, right? It's like sitting in a coffee shop, supposed to, you know, be working, but you pulled out your computer and you did absolutely nothing, right? So you went to the coffee shop, you did absolutely nothing. But let's just say you always go to the coffee shop to do your work, or you always go to the gym and do your workouts. Yesterday, I just couldn't do it physically. I was just like, I did my best. I did a few push-ups here and there, did some, I was like, yeah, my body's just like, I need a rest, right? And yeah, you know, it would have been better if I just stayed home. But because I was there, it helped build that consistency. So I still showed up regardless of whether or not it was better, right? And that's the meaning that I gave to it. I was like, at least when I went in there, right, cup half full. When I went there, I did a little bit, I was talking to some people, whatever, made some connections here and there. That's great. And now because I gave it that type of meaning, successful people show up better despite inner or outer voices or noises, right? So winner always find a way in, not a way out. Making a commitment to yourself, right? Like these are the things that I need to do every single day, right? Little 1% every single day, right? Giving the value of like this meaning, this value of me showing up regardless of how difficult it was, right? Now, if I had to replay that again yesterday, I would have stayed home, of course, right? But it's okay. So moving on to the meat at the topic, which is why women watch you at your best and why. And I'm talking specifically about guys. And this is not to bash on guys, right? Like the reason why I'm doing this is because I want you to become better. And when you become better, it's not even about the woman in front of you anymore. It's about who you are as a person. And that is how you can operate your best. Instead of like there's other guys out there that complain about why women are like this and why women are like that. Like, don't even bother with those type of women then. Just really focus on yourself and how you can become more than you are. Right? So, women are attracted to men who has goals and who has ambition. Right? And here's the thing. Maybe you're at a season right now. If you're a guy and you're watching, maybe you're at a season right now when things are going down, right? You're not exactly where you want to be, right? Your life has seen better days, weeks, months, if not years, right? Things seems to be getting really difficult. And we all have those type of seasons. We call those winters, those winter times, right? And when it does happen, how quickly can you get back onto your 2 feet, basically, and get your ass up and not complain about it, but take personal responsibility and accountability so that you could continue to move forward. Life don't give a shit if you stop moving. So it only requires you to move forward. right? Giving that meaning that you give to those type of things, right? So what she wants to see is effort without complaint. Most people complain way too much. Just fucking do the job. Just do it. Stop complaining so much. Oh, but complaining makes me feel so much better. But yelling and screaming makes me feel so much better. Yeah, when you yell and you scream, you're at your feminine, dude. Like, it's not making you look any better. Oh yeah, but you know, she wants me to show emotions. It's like, yeah, there's certain ways to show emotions, and that's not one of those, right? Now, if you want to continue doing that, then absolutely go ahead. You're not gonna re-attract her. If anything, it's gonna push her away if you all you do is yell, scream, right? When shit hits the fan, you're not cool, calm, and collected. It's like, what's going on, right? So it's, yeah, she wants you at your best. And this whole thing about like, oh, if she's not there at your worst, then she doesn't deserve you at your best. It's like, just give it your best and stop complaining about or even talking about you at your worst. When you're at your worst, you're at your worst. Just do your best. I know it's a lot more easier said than done, but I mean, today's one of those days. I'm not feeling the best, right? I'm still doing it because I like it, right? And that's how you find enthusiasm, and that's how you find like high interest on the things that you love, right? Like, if I hated doing this, if I really did, I would be like, oh hell no, I'm not doing this, right? I'll find more reasons. Oh, you got a little cold, Mitchell, don't show up, right? So it's like, that's why it's so important to do the things that you really, really like doing, because you're going to be exceptional at it. You're going to always find a reason to do it. Find a way, always find a reason to find a way in, not a way out. So, you know, prime example today. I didn't know that I was going to wake up not feeling great, but you know, it happens. So, now when it comes down to guys, right? I always tell them like, hey, look, it's not that you can't talk about your feelings, okay? Just don't make it a habit of always complaining about things. So imagine me, right? Imagine I always talk about like, oh, how life is so difficult, how life is like this, only rich people, blah, blah, blah. Like, those are the type of people, honestly, to me, like, that kind of pushes me away, right? Where like, oh, because I'm poor or because I'm like this, rich people don't deserve to be like this, right? And it's like, then you're finding a reason to not try to succeed. You play not to win. Whereas most people don't play. They don't play to win. They play not to lose. Excuse me, I gotta blow my nose again. What's up? Ugh. Now, my question to you now is, are you proactively doing the things to become better, right? What are you doing for your body? What are you doing for your finances? What are you doing to prepare for you when the winter comes, right? Because things will happen. Now, Don Shula said, the superior man blames himself. The inferior man blames other people. How many inferior men do you know? How many inferior men? People that complain, right? And if you're here and you're like, damn, Mitchell, this bullshit, blah, 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 right? Like, then I'm not the coach for you. It's all good. There's millions of other people that's willing to tell you that you are worth the wait. You're worth this, you're worth that. I'm telling you, hey, people pay me to give them the truth. If I be like, dude, you ain't doing shit with your life, or you're not doing enough with your life, then you're probably not. But until you are doing it, until you starting to get some successes, like, that's where I step in and be like, okay, these are the things that you need to do in order to get to where you want to be, right? Now, men who complain that the woman only wants men for X type of qualities, and I talked about this in my previous episodes too, but they only want men with money. They only want men that are 6 feet tall, like all these, like those are fucking bullshit. No, it's not true, right? Like, what kind of quality women are you talking about? If they only want you with these type of 6 foot, 6 figures, right? 6-pack abs. That's a lot of sixes. Right? And those definition of those people that always blame these other women for only wanting these certain things is, these are weak men. These are weak men. It's like, I know guys that would sit around hoping that she would break up with her boyfriend one day, so then he could come in and be like the knight in shining armor. It's like Mr. White Knight. It's like, dude, have some self-respect. Go out there and talk to there's other quality people out there, right? And so in my opinion, these are weak men, right? You could judge them based off how you want to judge them, but to me, I think these are weak men if they complain, right? Because this is the story that they tell themselves. And then it's a coping mechanism. Oh, only women that blah 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 wants this from, it's like, no, it's a cope. It's to absolve themselves from personal responsibilities of becoming better. Become better. Don't complain. Just do better. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Right? Jim Rohn. What's up, Tracy? So that's why when I wake up, I like listening to podcasts, right? Instead of listening to things that are quote unquote entertaining, that makes you feel good, I actually wake up and listen to things that will make my day a little bit better, right? So when it comes to like news, like if you look at how everything is, if you look at your shorts, right? When you're scrolling your reels, your TikTok videos, right? These are things that's being pushed towards you. You don't really get a choice to watch what you want to watch. So I tell you to be picky about what you want to watch, because whatever you pour in, that's what's it could consume your day, right? So imagine when the first thing you wake up in the morning, and all I'm talking about is this, all these killings, and that's unfortunate. Shit sucks, but really, does it really affect you that somebody else had a really big car accident? Maybe traffic's gonna be a little bit more difficult, but does it really affect you unless you know that person? Does it suck? Absolutely. But is it gonna affect you? Let's be honest. And so if you wake up and you listen to all these killings, these mass, and all that, it's like, what is that really going to do to your psyche? How is that gonna make your day better? If anything, it makes you more anxious. Oh shit, better not go that way. Gotta be careful. It's like, then you're always playing life not to lose. You're never gonna really play to win. And so that's why I'm saying, it's like, you really gotta set yourself up. You gotta set your day up for yourself. Now, that's why I listen to those type of things, right? Those podcasts, right? Now, men, like I said, that complain, oh, this is women's true nature, this is who they are, this is what they like. To me, it's bullshit. Hold on, excuse me. I'm struggling over here, but I'm making it through. Other people give a bullshit relationship tip that doesn't even make a relationship better, right? Like, yeah, and I'm not here to give like tips and tricks on how to get a response or how to, how to make. I'm here to make your life better so that you become better, so that you have quality people in your life. Yeah, does that require a lot of work? Absolutely. Just like going to the gym, right? If you go to the gym and you take or just eating healthier and just moving your body, you don't even need to go to a gym. But let's just say you just did that, your life will be better. So, let's see. Now the other question is, if you have nothing better to offer to your lady, men out there, if you have nothing good to offer to your lady, to your woman, why would she want to stay? If you're the guy that's supposed to lead. Now, like I said, you're looking for someone that's easygoing, easy to get along with. Someone that's going to be there with you when times are going south, right? When a winter comes. And you want someone that's, loyalty is really important. I'll talk about that more in my next slides. But then it's like, well, if all you do is complain and not become better, and you do the same thing every single day, don't expect things to change. Let's try to keep the topic based off this relationship. I appreciate that. And I get it, okay? And I get it. Now, everybody will have moments in their life that winter will come, right? It's how you handle those times that will make a difference. Because if you listen to those type of tips, if that's what people want to hear, right? These are, so, I even talked about, like, our society is addicted to quick fixes, right? And I get it. I look for quick fixes too. If something's wrong with my computer or something's wrong with this, yeah, I'm looking for something that I can fix it right away, right? But I know that relationship takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of inner work. It takes a lot of outer work. And it's how you this is how you could become the best version of yourself. And it's like, no one's gonna do it for you. You have to do it on your own. Yes, it sucks. You don't have to. You could be mediocre. I'm not the guy for you. I'm trying to have you become the best version of yourself. So, next slide. It's having a purpose. Why is having a purpose so important, especially as a dude, right? Having a purpose. Those who fall short of their responsibility often have a hard time living with themselves. I don't know who wrote that quote, but I thought that was a really good line. That's a really good quote. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna repeat that again. Those who fall short of this responsibility often have a hard time living with themselves. You don't really have a reason to wake up. What's your reason to wake up? Most people can't answer that. Oh, I gotta go to work. Why? Because I gotta put food on the table. Why? Now, when you have a purpose in life and you know where you're going, you have a sense of direction. You're not doubtful because you're clear on what you want and what you want to do and where you want to be. And even if it means like doing odd jobs in the beginning, like, you know what? I'll do this in the meantime. But when I come back home, I'm going to continue to do this, right? And what do most people do? They work 9 to 5, or they work their whatever hour shifts, come back home, and all they do is just chill. They don't really want to do anything. They don't want to do more. Why? Because they're already tired. Well, you're tired. You're not tired because you don't have anything to do. You're tired because you're unmotivated. You don't have anything that you want to do or more that you want. You're just like, this is comfortable. Got a nice roof over my head. I can live like this for the rest of my life. It's all good. So you don't. You'll always get back on that course. Basically, when you have a purpose, you'll always hop back on that course of where you want to be, right? So it doesn't matter what you do. You come back, boom. You go. Yeah, my nose is running. It's not helping. It's not helping. It's getting a little annoying. Excuse me. Ugh. I'm still here though. I'm still here. All right. This helps. This helps keeps the excitement alive in your life, right? Having a purpose, right? And it's difficult to be around someone who gets up every morning and they kind of hate what they do, right? Especially if they have like a sour attitude towards it too. It's like this and this. It's like, yeah, no one wants to be around that type of bullshit, right? So an example is they go to the job that they hate so that they can put food on the table. They complain that they're too busy, but they always have enough time to bullshit and sit around and do other shit. Oh, I'm tired. And it's like, no, you're not tired. You're just unmotivated. You just don't want to do anything, right? Now, and this goes for even people that's financially stable. Maybe you're at a place and you're financially secured, and if you lack purpose, you're not going to be very exciting to be around. You ever been around a rich person or someone that has a lot of money, or maybe their family has a lot of money, and they're just like, they don't want to do it? I was like, dude, this is fucking boring. I get it. You got money, but I want to do some shit on my own. I need to do something. I couldn't be around them enough, so I had to step away from those type of people, right? A purposeful man takes bold and massive action towards his objective every single day, while men without purpose have a mindset that is of scarcity. They always think like, oh, I don't have enough. It's never enough, right? Men who are weak, they take up this victim-based type of attitude so that they can have this sense of quote unquote responsibility without having to change up their mindset. It's to think like, damn, I'm the victim. And it's like they think that they have this type of responsibility, but they're not really doing anything to change that shit. So it's like, oh, it gives them a sense of feeling important, but they don't really do anything about that. So what you're really good for? So a man with purpose isn't bothered by the discomfort or change, right? In fact, he is more likely to embrace it. When you follow the things that you love doing, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna find a way in. You'd be like, damn, how come this doesn't work? I will make it work. How come? Right? You'll always ask questions as opposed to questioning yourself. Right? Most people that don't enjoy what they do, they question a lot of the things that they do. So the question also goes, so how do you know what you want to do? Right? That will have to be in a different episode because I can't fit it all in here. All right. Now, since the topic of today's show is why women want you at your best and having a purpose and all this is very important, what does it mean to keeping a good woman in your life? Like, keeping a good woman, how? How do you keep a good woman? What do you have to do? Right? If you're looking for someone long term and she doesn't see your type of current situation, right? Like, oh, you need to take me out here and you need to buy me X, Y, and Z, and this is like your lady, right? Giving these kind of ultimatums, right? And you're just not at your place financially, right? Like, really ask the question, like, is this really the person you really want to be with, right? Because what you're really looking for is someone that's willing to jump fences for you or with you when you go into different seasons, like the winter seasons, right? Difficult times. Someone who's willing to support you. So what you're looking for is a normal, happy, healthy woman. Someone that's going to make the effort to stay in your life when times are low, right? Someone that's going to make an effort. Now, being a good man means that you're always continuing to become more than you are, right? Jim Rohn says we can't have more than we've got because we can become more than we are, right? We can have more than we got because we can become more than we are. And that's possible, right? You could still be at the same job making twice as much, 3 times as much money, right? As a person that works at the same job. How? It's possible. It's possible, but yet some people, they want to stay where they're at, and they're just comfortable where they're at, right? They never really push themselves. So here I am. I'm telling you, hey, you know what? You can push yourself. So yeah, you have to be willing to continue to work on yourself. When? How long? For the rest of your life. That's what you need to do, right? You could get comfortable, but not for too long, right? You go out and you can party hard, but not for too long. And you know, even some of my friends, they were like, "Damn, Mitchell, how do you do this for this long or whatever? Like, how do you stay the same?" It's like, what do you mean the same? There's like, well, like some of your clothes still fit, and it's like you fit your same clothes in high school. And it's been like 20 years, almost about, right? How? You know? And it's like, well, I follow something that's very simple. It's like an 80-20 rule, which is 80% of the time I stay very focused and disciplined. About 20% of the time I get to fuck around. That's what I do, right? And sometimes, and this does happen, right? Sometimes it goes 70-30, right? It means 30% of the time I'm kind of fucking around, right? 10% more than that, right? And then 70% of the time I'm doing what I need to do. Now, it hits a threshold once it hits like below 70, I'm like, all right, Mitchell, you're getting to this whole 50-50 thing, and it's not really doing you any good. Because even at 80-20, you need to do more. Now it's dropping. So it's like I never let myself go past that threshold where it's gonna be way harder to get back up. You know what I mean? And I just never allowed that to happen. And that's just how I kind of operated, right? And so that's where I get to stay disciplined, right? Because once you do it long enough, it becomes a habit. Now, Jim Rohn, a lot of Jim Rohns here today. So, excuse me. If you're not willing to risk the unusual, you will have to settle for ordinary. If you're not willing to risk the unusual, you have to settle for the ordinary. That's what it is. It's like people always want great things in their life, but they're not willing to do the things necessary to become better, right? How do you become a better dancer? How do you become a better singer? You do those things, and you take courses, right? You take notes, right? You watch yourself so that you could become more, right? Now, so you have to be willing to set higher standards for yourself, right? And in order to keep a good woman around, you need to become more, right? You need to understand her, okay? You need to make sure that when she's talking, you have to listen to her, right? And you're also looking for someone that's a teammate. You're not looking for someone that's always trying to compete with you all the time. And when she does compete with you, usually this is what happens. When she's in her masculine, it's usually because you're doing a lot of things that you're doing wrong as a guy. And I'm just talking specifically about a normal, happy, healthy woman. I'm not talking about someone that's like been traumatized, that never really worked on themselves to become better on themselves too, right? I'm talking specifically, these are happy, normal, healthy women, right? If you want to keep them around, like, they know that they fucked up sometimes, right? They'd be like, hey, you know what? Maybe I was a little bit short with you the other day, and I'm sorry about that. It's like, no, it's okay. You know, you're just in your feelings, and, you know, that happens, right? But you're looking for someone that's your teammate, not someone that you're always trying to wake up and have a competition with, right? Not every single day. That's a lot. That's a lot of effort. And do you really want to be around those type of people, right? So keeping a good woman, at least in a guy's perspective, from like this masculine type of energy, well, what are you doing to lead? What are you doing to become more than you are so that you can have more than you got, right? And it really depends on how much personal responsibilities that you take up in your life. And think of it kind of like this, right? Like, I'm using my what do you want, snot towel, whatever, right? People do this shit all the time, metaphorically, but they take this, right, and they toss it behind them, right? And they don't know how much shit that they have to keep, and they keep doing it their entire lives. They keep doing it, but they never go back and clean it up. And then when you look behind you, you got this whole pile of shit that you need to settle and take care of. You don't even know where to start because everything's scattered. Nothing's organized in your life, right? So how do you expect to change someone else's life if your life back there ain't even fixed yourself, right? So that's why I really like what Jordan Peterson said. If you want to change the world, how can you change the world if you can't even like wake up every morning and like organize and fix your bed? Like, do that first, before do something small before you go for something big. Basically, that's what he says. I need to blow my nose one more time. Give me a sec. Okay. All right. Next. Can she count on you? All right. And I think this is my last slide, so I might make it a little bit shorter today. Okay. Can she count on you? Right? Can she count on you? Hey, it happens. Today's one of those days. Why women want you at your best? Why does she want you at your best? Right? Can she count on you? That's also an important thing. Can she count on you? Right? When life hits the fucking fan. I get it. Days suck sometimes, and that's okay, right? You're not gonna always have your best days. But can she count on you? Women want to know if she could count on you. So you have to be, number one, a good communicator. Are you a good communicator? You might say you are. Chances are you're not. Chances are, if you haven't worked on yourself, chances are you are not a great communicator. Because being a communicator doesn't mean you just talk a lot. Being a communicator means sitting down, shutting up, and listening, right? Giving your 100% undivided attention, right? So, and this will make your relationship a little bit more understanding when you sit down and you listen. When she tells you something, don't play on your phone, right? Be attentive. Like, what's going on? What are you saying, right? Is this how it feels? Like, this is what I'm hearing. And then you reiterate that. And then she'd be like, yes. Then it means that you're listening, right? And then when you ask questions, the reason why you want to ask questions is, and not ask questions because you're mad. You'd be like, so this is why you're mad, right? That's not a question, right? It's more like you're upset because of what I did over here. And this is why, right? And a lot of people can't take that. They can't take that mistake where they made a mistake. And it's about you at this point. It's no longer about her trying to talk to you. It's more about what you're feeling. It's like, why you mad? It's like, that is not a great question to ask. The quality of your questions is very important, all right? There's no dumb questions, but there are quality questions, okay? What got you upset? What did I do to get you upset, right? Because you also have to understand men and women communicate differently. And when she communicates that her feelings are hurt, you have to understand that. You have to understand why she's hurt. And you're also looking for a woman, like I said, you're looking for a woman that knows, like, hey, maybe she might blame it on a period or something like that. But she'd be like, I just can't help but feel like, I haven't really had you around as much as you were once before, right? And this is not the time where you tell her like, oh, it's because I have this and I gotta do that. It's like, you just gotta give her a little bit more effort if you want the relationship to work. If you don't, right? So now the woman wants to know, can she count on you, okay, when times go down, right? So it means that being a good communicator, listening, right, understanding her, because when a woman feels heard and understood, she's gonna want you way more than you want her. Okay, she's gonna be like, yeah, I can't wait to see you, right? She will want sex more than you do, okay? And yes, you have to be willing to put in the work, right? You have to be willing to put in the effort so she could trust you, so that she could trust your masculine core, right? Trusting your masculine core is really, really important. And when she doesn't respect you, she's not gonna love you, right? A woman needs to respect you in order to love you, right? So, and with this, it becomes more responsibility. So whatever you take on, whether it's having kids, right, having this job, having his house, his mortgage, whatever it may be, right, like, these are things that you sign up for. And if you're not prepared to uphold to those type of responsibilities, then don't fucking have him, right? I see people complain about that shit all the time, and they'll be like, oh, it's like, well, don't have it then. If it's too much, then don't have it. Oh, but I still want it, then put in the effort. Oh, but it's too much work, then don't have it. It's like you see it go back and forth, and it's like, well, now you're complaining, right? What she's really looking for is, can you uphold the personal responsibility that you sign up for, right? And from a guy's perspective, from what we see and what we want from a woman, the number one most important thing to a guy is loyalty, right? And I'm talking about I'm not talking about like affairs and right and all that stuff. I'm just talking about loyalty. When shit really hits the fan, I'm looking for someone that's gonna stick by my side. I'm looking for someone that, like, hey, look, we're in a tough season right now, right? I heard a story from my coach, and he was talking about how this guy he had a billion dollar business, and one day this guy went so far down into a place where he couldn't even pay his own rent, right? And his lady still stayed by his side. Hold on. This lady still stayed by his side when the times are low, right? And because she knows that, hey, he's able and he's capable of doing certain things, right? And, eventually they bounce back up. But there were times of there's certain seasons, and now my nose is running. Give me a second. Oh, this is rough. Okay, I'm almost done. So, number one most important thing to a guy is loyalty. And are you willing to be there for him when he's not at his best, right? But making the effort, Or will you back away? Because some women, they're like, damn, I can't deal with this bullshit, right? I need to survive. It's like, well, right? when your days are difficult, is she only gonna focus on her own emotions? And that's another thing. You're telling her to not focus on herself a lot. That could be a lot to ask for one, because they're mostly feeling based. They need to feel, right? And to have someone that could understand you, hey, you know what? Times are rough, right? I need to get back on my feet. And she doesn't want you to complain about it. She just wants you to do something about it, so you no longer stay in that position, right? Now, the question is, like, are you a teammate, right? Is she there to support your purpose, right? Now, a lot of guys always kind of ask, like, well, why is this always the guy's fault, right? Shouldn't women need to work on themselves too? Absolutely. The answer is yes, they do, right? But we should always consistently work on ourselves. But now, as a guy, as a masculine energy, you're there to lead. You're there to set the example. You're there to be courageous, right? You're there to do things so that she could follow your lead, right? And it's gently leading. You're not forcing her. So an example is like, look, I'm into fitness. I'm into taking care of my body. I'm into making my body, right? My temple, if you will, right? And I like to do that. And I want to be around someone that's willing to. She might not be where she is at right now, or where she's at, but she knows where she want to be, and that's the type of mindset that is more attractive, right? I want to become better. I want to be like this. I want to be like that. But she sees me do it first. I'm there to lead. I'm not telling her to do it when I'm not even doing it. Oh, I want a healthy person. It's like, well, I sit on my ass all day and just eat chips and watch Netflix. It's like, no, that can't be it. I need to set the example. I need to take the lead. And when I take the lead, I could inspire people, right? I could move people, right? And I'm there to help support you to get to where you want to be. And that's where masculine energy, they flourish from that, right? We're there to push people to become more than they are, because we need challenge, right? We need challenge to want to, masculine energy is overcoming challenges. So it's like when things really hit the fan, how quickly can I solve that problem? How quickly can I adapt to that, right? That's why it's like, if you look at video games, it's not that we just like video games to play video games. It's because there's a sense of challenge. We could become better, right? And that's why we play video games so much. But, you know, video games get a bad rep because they be like, all you do is sit there and play video games. You're not really putting money on the table, blah, 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 right? Until you could start making millions off of that. I know some of my friends are making millions of dollars every year playing video games. And, you know, congrats to them, right? And they're doing a hell of a great job at it. And some people don't see it as a job. Like, why don't you get a real job? He's like, well, it is my real job. This is what I do, right? Oh, you can't do this forever. Anyways, off topic. But it's how you lead, right? So that you can set the example. And when you lead properly, feminine energy will follow. Feminine energy will follow. And so many times I've seen this multiple times. When guys misinterpret lead with control, he's trying to control his woman. He's trying to make her into something that she's not. I'm looking for someone that's like this. And if you can't do that, then I don't want to be a part of that. So it gives her like the sense of like, do I want to become better? If I want to be with a person of this type of value, it pushes her to become more than she is, right? Because I'm looking for someone that benefits me and I benefit her. Not, oh, let me help you, right? It's there to support each other. Hey, you're not where you're at, and that's fine. But you have the right attitude and you have the right mindset. You know you could get to where you want to be, right? And that's where both relationships, in that type of relationship, that's where you can flourish. So if you continue to always be at your best, you will always become you will always become more than you are. If you continue to always be at your best, always continuing your knowledge, filling in your knowledge gap, you will always become more than you are. And then you can have more than you've got. I basically reversed what Jim Rohn said, and that's his quote. Okay. Now, thank you all for listening. I have a summary that I'm just gonna break down a little bit, and then I'm gonna end the stream. All right. So the summary goes. First slide is you don't need to be rich, right? You don't need to be a rich person in order to get women, right? Women are attracted to men who has goals and ambitions, right? That's what they are. Do you have a goal? They're attracted to, they want to see effort without complaint, right? So do you have that? And if you don't, really question, what are you really doing? What's your purpose of waking up? Second slide, having a purpose, right? Those who fall short of this responsibility often have a hard time living with themselves. Men who are weak, they take up this whole victim-based type of attitude so that they can have this sense of responsibility without having to change the mindset. Thank you, Tracy. Right. Number 3, keeping a good woman, right? Someone that's going to make an effort to stay in your life when times are low, right? Because I get it. If you want to keep a good woman, she also has to understand that, hey, you know what? We're all human. We make mistakes. There are winter seasons, right? But you're always continuing as a guy to become better, right? I'm not at my best right now, but she is certain that, hey, you know what? Mitchell will bounce back. He always will, right? He always will, right? So if you're not willing to risk the unusual, you will have to settle with for the ordinary, okay? And lastly, can she count on you? Yes, you have to be willing to put in the effort so that she could trust your masculine core, right? You have to be willing to put in the effort. And this one question still goes to, I still remember one of my clients a while ago. He was like, Mitchell, like, do I have to continue to work out for the rest of my life? I was like, you don't have to. No one's putting a gun to your head and say you have to be healthy and move your body. You could just sit there and just go to work, make a lot of money, come back home. But what kind of quality of life are you looking for? Are you looking for something where money could just solve your problems and not really put in a lot of effort? Do you want to be that old guy when you have kids, you can't really play with them? I mean, that's up to you, right? Like, I was like, I'm not your dad. I can't tell you what to do, but you have your own responsibilities, and this is the life you want to live. And how I want to live my life is I want to make sure that I'm always mobile for the rest of my life, and I have higher standards for myself. At least that's for me, right? It's different for everybody. So, trusting your masculine core, right? Now the question goes where men lead and women follow. Okay, if you continue to always be at your best, you will always become more than you are, and then you can always have more than you've got, right? That's how you become better. That's how you become more successful, and success means different to everybody, right? Earl Nightingale, that's not coming out. Earl Nightingale says, let me see if I can remember this. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. What it basically means is that success means different to everybody, right? If success means being a great mom, that's your success. That's your definition of success. If success means, being great at your job, right? Then that's what success means to you, right? Like, what does being great at your job mean, right? Then there's all these little categories that kind of follow. But if you set yourself higher standards and you always want to become better mentally, right? And I remember talking to my friend too. He was like, you always want to do a few things. You want to do something that makes you money. You want to do something that keeps you healthy, like working out. And you also want to do something that's creative so that you have a sense of a reason to want to wake up and live, right? Now, if you could make money and be creative at the same time, absolutely, that's great, right? But you always want to take care of your body first, right? If you don't have your body, you can't do anything, right? I know people in their 20s, they have back aches, and I was like, it's probably because you fucked up and you messed up somewhere along the line, and now you got to fix it, right? And so, anyways, that being said, set yourself higher standards. Okay, I'm gonna close it with this. Set yourself higher standards. take massive actions, continue to educate yourself, and never stop working on yourself, your mind and your body. Okay, never stop doing those. That being said, I might need to buy another box of tissue because I'm running low on tissue. And I'll catch you guys on the next live. All right, take it easy. Hope you guys feel better. And thank you. And I'll catch you guys on the next live. Take it easy. Peace.